And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from him. And it ain't going to be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
In Florida, man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots.
Oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then...
It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when there was
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's going to kill him because he will not get hit.
Analysts believe Gervonta Davis has a strong shot at victory, but only if he approaches the fight with strategy and control. They stress that Tank shouldn't rush for an early knockout. Instead, he needs to rely on movement, ring IQ, and precise timing. His true strength comes from patience, reading opponents, adapting to their rhythm, and striking at the perfect moment. Experts note that if Davis stays disciplined, using his trademark footwork and counterpunching ability, Jake Paul won't be able to match his speed or accuracy. While Tank's power gets the headlines, it's his defense and timing that make him truly dangerous. When he sticks to a smart game plan, few fighters at Jake's level can come close to matching his skill SE. Experts predict that Jake Paul is about to experience a major wake-up call when he faces Gervonta Davis. They argue that Tank's combination of speed, experience, and fight intelligence operates on an entirely different level than anything Jake has faced before. While Jake's past opponents were strong, none possessed the explosiveness or precision that Davis brings. Analysts believe that once Tank finds his timing, the gap in skill will become painfully clear. Jake's defense, still developing, may not be ready for the kind of calculated pressure Davis applies. Many predict that when Tank lands clean, the fight could end suddenly, not through luck, but through pure technical dominance.
Can his speed and, his ability make up for that size difference, in your honest opinion?
Well, he has to be very smart throughout the course of the fight. It's hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab. Jake's fighting one of the best boxers ever.
One of the biggest talking points leading up to this fight is the issue of weight. Some fans argue that the size difference between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis is simply too large to overlook, while others believe Tank's refined skill set will make that gap irrelevant. The boxing community is divided, with critics questioning whether the matchup is even fair, given Jake's naturally heavier frame. However, supporters of Davis remain confident. They point out that Tank's speed, discipline, and precision have allowed him to dismantle bigger fighters before. To them, boxing has never been about size alone. It's about control, timing, and mastery of movement. Many believe that Jake's fundamentals are still too raw to threaten a fighter as technically sound as Davis, and that Tank's skill will ultimately neutralize any advantage Jake's weight provides.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta Tank Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta Tank Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all want to say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, he needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I'll say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level, and it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilla Killers.
Chilla Killers. Chilla Killers.
Michael Bisping acknowledges Gervonta Davis's remarkable power and skill, but cautions that size differences can't be dismissed entirely. He praises Tank's ability to adapt when facing larger opponents, though he reminds fans that physical disparities always play a role. Bisping believes Davis has the intelligence and agility to outthink and outmaneuver Jake Paul, yet the weight gap could challenge his stamina and ability to absorb heavier punches. Still, he commends Tank's determination, saying that if anyone has the mindset to conquer this kind of obstacle, it's him. Bisping concludes that while the size factor is undeniable, Davis's superior technique and ring IQ could still allow him to neutralize Jake's physical edge, as long as he executes a near-perfect game plan.
It is happening. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child, Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their professional records.
Several analysts have spoken out against what they see as unfair criticism of Gervonta Davis's career achievements. They point out that many of the fighters who share the ring with Tank often gain significant recognition afterward. For instance, boxers like Lamont, who were relatively unknown before facing Davis, have seen their popularity and success rise following their bouts with him. According to these analysts, that alone proves Tank's influence and star power within the boxing world. They dismiss claims that Davis isn't the face of the sport, emphasizing that his fights not only draw massive attention, but also create opportunities for others. In their view, questioning his legacy overlooks how much he's elevated the profiles of his opponents simply by stepping into the ring with them.
Out there taking on Mike Tyson that's pushing 60 years old, for crying out loud, but at the same time pretending to be like this badass motherfucker, sending me DMs talking. He offered me a contract a long time ago, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm a retired fighter and I've got one eye. Why would I want to fight you? I wouldn't lower myself to doing that. I know a lot of people do that. They do lower themselves, if you want to say that, because of the payday, because Jake Paul is a big name. He is a social media sensation. He's a YouTube star. And now, of course, in the world of boxing, he's one of boxing's biggest stars because he puts on these spectacles like Paul versus Tyson, like Nate Diaz, because these are the fighters, these are the names that attract the eyes. Jake Paul is the B-side to almost every single one of his fights. When he fought Nate Diaz, people were tuning in for Nate Diaz. His last fight against Cesar Chavez Jr., apparently no one watched that fight. Apparently the pay-per-views were ridiculously low. So this one's going back to Netflix on November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this would be very, very dangerous, and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him and hit him many times and not knock him out, with the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling round inside the head, and Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could, it's dangerous. That's why fights like this can't get sanctioned. That's why this is a exhibition bout and not a real matchup. Now listen, they're both going to get paid tremendously. They're going to make a ton of money, and a lot of people are going to tune in and watch it on Netflix. Fair play.
Coach Reg takes a measured stance on the criticism surrounding Gervonta Davis. He reminds fans that Tank has already accomplished more than most fighters do at his age. In his view, there's nothing wrong with pursuing big money fights once you've proven yourself at the highest level. Reg believes Davis has earned the right to secure his financial future after years of hard training, dedication, and risk inside the ring. He points out that every boxer eventually reaches a stage where life-changing paydays become just as important as titles. According to him, critics often overlook how much Tank has given to the sport and fail to recognize his consistent commitment to excellence. Whether Davis decides to retire soon or continue competing, Coach Reg insists that his place among the top lightweights of this generation is already well established.
Ongoing discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis, his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them. Because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now, let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who was somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely, when he defends his WBC 140-pound championship. Or does he have the WBA?
Some analysts note that a major reason this fight is drawing so much attention is Gervonta Davis's broad popularity and cultural influence. As one of the most recognized African-American fighters in the U.S., Tank naturally attracts strong media coverage and fan interest. His bouts often transcend sports, becoming cultural moments that resonate with audiences far beyond boxing. Experts highlight that Davis's fame has made him one of the sport's most prominent figures, a status that brings both admiration and criticism. They also point out that public perception heavily shapes how matchups like this are viewed, and Tank's prominence ensures that nearly everything he does makes headlines. Still, most agree that his position at the top isn't just a product of fame. It's the result of genuine talent, dedication, and consistent performance inside the ring.
You know what I mean? Especially Tank been talking about retirement, so why not get the bag and then go about your business if that's your plan? I mean, if that's your plan to retire, then go get the bag and then go about your business. You ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm not against it.
You got some people that are very critical, Tank. Does it make sense depending on what you're in boxing for? Because you got some people that want to fight the best. You got some people that want the accolades, the belts, the undisputeds. You got some people that just came in this game like, look, I'm trying to get my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth. Does it all depend on what you decided to box for?
Well, Tank accomplished a lot at a young age. You know what I mean? He accomplished a lot at a young age. So I wouldn't be mad if he took the bag and went about his business and never fought again. You know what I mean? Plus, like, look at some of the things that he's going through. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of that can affect you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to be in this game. So I think, get the bag and go. That's your plan. Get the bag and go.
For me, of course, I wanted to see him fight Shakur. I wanted to see him fight Devin.
Yeah, we all wanted to see him fight.
Guess what, bro?
Many experts view this matchup as more of a global spectacle than a purely competitive showdown. Jake Paul's rise from social media star to boxer has made him a crossover figure rather than a traditional athlete. Analysts suggest that the fight's real purpose goes beyond settling a rivalry. It's designed to capture mainstream attention and bring in a broader audience. With Netflix handling the broadcast, the event is guaranteed massive worldwide exposure. While many predict Gervonta Davis will dominate thanks to his elite experience and ring IQ, others argue that Jake's celebrity appeal adds an unpredictable spark to the spectacle. This fight represents the ongoing fusion of entertainment and sport, where skill meets showmanship. Competitive or not, it's expected to draw millions of viewers and thrust both fighters even deeper into the global spotlight.
Tank Davis, especially an American black fighter, right? Everything is embellished and, made into a bigger deal, especially when they're popular fighters like Gervonta Davis. Or Floyd Mayweather has a close fight with Castillo Maidana, and it's the end of the world. Andre Ward has a tough fight with Kovalev. Oh, it's the end of the world. He cheated and all this stuff. Jermell Charlo has a close fight with Castano, so on and so forth, right? Oh, Jermell, it was a robbery, and it turns into this big deal. But back to Tank's resume, his last opponent was Lamont Roach. I thought he won the fight. There wasn't this crazy action happening on Lamont Roach's side prior to that knee thing. I feel like when the knee fiasco happened, that's when the fight started to pick up a bit. And Lamont Roach, I think what he deserves credit for is he exceeded expectations that people have for him. But you can't score a fight based on expectations. You feel me? Right? Like, you don't get a fight and get the victory because you did better than people thought you were going to do. That is not how you score boxing, right? You don't get more points because you're the underdog and you did better. It's not how boxing works at all, right?
Stephen Fulton has come forward to defend Gervonta Davis against critics who accuse him of chasing easy paydays. Fulton argues that every boxer deserves a chance to secure financial stability, especially in a profession as short and dangerous as boxing. He reminds fans that Tank has already proven himself through years of dominance, and that pursuing high-profile fights at this stage is a logical next step. According to Fulton, people should look beyond the surface. Davis has earned the right to balance his legacy with financial reward. His defense of Tank reflects a growing sentiment within the boxing world. Respect for fighters who recognize their worth and refuse to be confined by outdated expectations of what a true boxer should do.
Jake Paul, thoughts? I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is,
Do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when there was
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's going to kill him because He will not get hit.
Eddie Chambers cautions that underestimating Gervonta Davis would be a major mistake. While he acknowledges Jake Paul's clear physical advantages, Chambers insists that Tank's blend of skill, power, and ring intelligence makes him a nightmare matchup for anyone. He points out that Davis's lightning-fast reflexes and explosive combinations have repeatedly
anybody in that position would have taken that fight.
Yeah.
Especially with the payout. Yeah. It's like, that's a no-brainer. But I understand. I still feel for Lamont. That's my boy. Like he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers. Be like, oh, he this for that. He's this. It's a side quest. It's a little side quest. Because what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's another little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment world. Because I mean, I don't know. I would have done it as far as the money aspect, because none of us would deny that money. They talking like they would. None of them would deny that money.
Overwhelmed larger opponents who lack solid defense. Chambers explains that unless Jake transforms into a truly elite level fighter, he'll struggle to withstand Tank's precision, pressure, and pace. In his view, Davis remains one of the most dangerous pound-for-pound boxers in the game, not just because of his power, but because of his impeccable timing, calmness under fire, and ability to exploit every mistake his opponent makes. His comments serve as a reminder that size alone means little against a technician as sharp and composed as Gervonta Davis.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media. This is what is created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from him. And it ain't going to be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for more updates on the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis showdown.